All right, good afternoon, second grade students. Today for our technology lesson, we are going to be talking about password power-up and how to protect your accounts online. So the essential question that we want to answer today is, how can a strong password help protect your privacy? So our learning objectives today are, we want to define the term password and describe its purpose, understand why a strong password is important, and practice creating a memorable and strong password. So first off, the definition of password is a secret string of letters, symbols, and numbers that you can use to restrict who can access something digital. So what is something in your life that you take steps to protect? Why and how do you protect it? So we're going to take a moment to think about these questions. So what are some things in your life that you take steps to protect? So besides maybe an online account, what are some things that maybe you try to protect in your house? So maybe some things that we protect in our lives are maybe the planet. So by recycling and making sure that our trash gets into the garbage can and not on the ground, that is some things that we protect in our life. We can also protect our house by locking our door when we leave. Also cars, we do the same thing. We lock our car when we're at the grocery store. And so, yeah, there's many things in our lives that we take steps to protect and to help keep people out from certain things that we don't want them getting into. So a phrase, the definition of a phrase is a group of words that go together and are easy to remember. So let's look at two scenarios here. So let's look at scenario one. Maya forgets her phone on the bus. If someone found it and figured out her password to unlock it, then what could happen? So I'll give you a moment to think about what could happen if somebody was able to get into her phone. So before we look at some ideas for scenario one, let's also look at scenario two. Jared writes his email address in his notebook and leaves it open while he goes to the bathroom. If someone saw his email address and figured out his email password, then what could happen? So again, I will give you a minute to think about that yourself before we look at some ideas. All right, let's look at some ideas here. So for scenario one, if someone figured out her phone unlock password, then they could see her messages, use her apps, and pretend to be her. And for scenario two, if someone figured out Jared's email password, then they could see private emails he has sent and received, and again, they could pretend to be him online. All right, so here are some password tips to remember. So first you want to start with a memorable phrase. Only your parents should know your password. You should never use any private identity information in your password. So many passwords say you shouldn't use parts of your first name or last name or street address or phone number or social security number in your password. You should create passwords with at least 8 characters. Now, every website is different with what they require for a password, but most require at least 8 characters. And you should also use letters, numbers, and symbols in your password. And again, many websites will require you to use uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols in your password to make it very strong. All right, and that is our technology lesson for today.